Alright, I'll keep... excuse me. Keep going here. So every time I come into a new area, I'm always a little worried. Because you never know if you're gonna just suddenly walk into... Oh yeah, that last boss you fought? Yeah, it was difficult, but it's not gonna be anywhere near as difficult as having to fight a swarm of enemies that do like 40 damage a pop. And then other times, you know, they'll sometimes, you know, the first enemies will be easy, and it'll be like, okay, these guys are a cakewalk, and then randomly you'll walk into the one guy that, you know, does 100 damage, and you're like, where the hell did you come from? It's like, well, you're playing on hard mode. That's what you get. So, yeah. So, as a side note, there's a large section of this video that had been cut out because I had previously searched this area, and had been doing some leveling up, and I did not make it to the next checkpoint. Because I didn't make it to the next checkpoint, I died. And when I died, I had to start over from my last save, which was literally right after that cutscene with Roy and that. So, this is sort of an abbreviated run back of that. So, I'm more or less straight shooting this, because I know where to go now. Well, I guess with the exception of this particular move. This is more or less for experience points, because I don't need to come this way right now. Like I said, it is a little bit more straightforward, because I know which way is the path forward, and which one is a side path. So, will hopefully save us a little bit of time. What's been fascinating recently, since I've gotten the vid and lost my sense of taste, is sort of this... I want to call it giddiness, because I am sort of giddy about it, but it's also with the understanding that the inability to smell and taste is a big problem. Like if my house was on fire and I didn't have any smoke detectors, I couldn't smell the smoke, and my house would probably burn down. On the other hand, this prospect of not being held up by taste is the part that makes me giddy, because when you're not limited by the taste value of something, you know, what's the point of, you know, eating a delicious sugary cookie? It's not good for you if the only enjoyment you get out of it is the feeling, you know, the feeling of your teeth chewing up you know, a sugar cookie or a ginger snap, you know. It's just it's a feeling, you know, it's a different sense, you know what I mean? It's not smell and taste, it's, you know, touch. It's within your mouth. And again, the giddiness of this is sort of, I sort of think of this in like a scientific way, where if I'm not being held back by taste, then I can easily, you know, morph my dietary habits in such a way where I'm eating, you know, stuff that I don't really like the taste of, that might be super healthy for me, but because I don't like the taste of it, I tend to avoid those things, you know, like, not that I'm gonna start eating Brussels sprouts, but I can't stand the taste of Brussels sprouts, or cauliflower, and I don't eat those things because they don't taste good to me. I do like other vegetables, you know, like, you know, broccoli and peas and corn and carrots and you know, there are a lot of vegetables out there that I don't mind to eat, but you know, if you know, the taste of a Big Mac is the same as the taste of a salad, you know, and you know, or you know, insert your favorite fast food joint, you know, and it's just a tactile pleasure of you know, eating the burrito or eating, you know, the burger, you know. It's so easy to replace it with, you know, instead of eating, like I said, a burger, you just get a salad. And if you're talking super healthy, you just get a salad with no dressing because the dressing doesn't have taste. There's no point in putting dressing on anything. And that end of the thing is sort of interesting to me. And I just, it sort of, even though not having taste sucks, it just sort of like, I think about, you know, sort of, quote unquote, I know this isn't the way it works, and I know there's a reason you have smell and taste, you know, to keep you from poisoning yourself. Being the big one, and being able to smell things like, you know, food and you know, danger. These are very important things, but you know, I just kind of think of like my eating habits could be so much healthier with my inability to taste. You know? Now, you know, obviously, like, okay, here's a great example, okay? When you get fries, okay, a lot of fries or potato products have salt on them, right? High sodium, not great for most people, you know, bad blood pressure, all that fun jazz, okay? But what's the difference between putting salt on your fries and having no salt on your fries if you can't taste it? Now, I know some people, as they get older, their taste buds start to, you know, they don't taste as well as they used to. They don't smell as well as they used to. So they start to over-season and over-salt their foods, which isn't good for their health. But I'm not talking about the dimming of my senses. I'm talking about the complete nullification of a major sense that is, you know, very important. I mean, but at the same time, you know, we're talking in strictly like this, you know, like everything's a sin, you know, work hard, eat bland, flavorless food because everything else is either, you know, pride or lust or gluttony or, you know, and, you know, the most temperance. Yeah, I end up jumping out of here because I'm about to die and I'm not going to be able to defeat all of these guys before. And so we're going to jump down into the pit here in a second, which I have to do anyways because there's an item down there I need to pick up, but I was kind of hoping to save that till after I beat these guys. So, but we'll just make another round after we heal back up here in the safety of the upper area where no one can get me, next to the treasure chest that has the topaz in it. Anywho, but like I said, I mean, like, if you have, you know, if you have an option between a number of different things, you know, and the only main difference is the taste of it, you know, and something that tastes really good, full of calories, and, you know, might not be super good for a sedentary lifestyle, you know, versus, you know, obviously if you're, you know, I don't know, working out every day and chopping wood or something, you're living the off the grid, I don't need nobody to take care of me lifestyle, and everything is physically taxing, so you need a high calorie diet in order to fuel your body. You know, again, I'm speaking sort of from a super privileged class where, like, I don't have to go out and kill my own chicken or steer or pig and, you know, cut it up or take it to a butcher or whatever, and then, you know, all of the stuff that goes along with that, you know, taking care of it and getting it to and from a place. So that's my thoughts on this subject. Anyways, I understand on the very basic level. Well, I could literally go and drink the Clorox or the Drano under my sink, and it wouldn't be any different than not doing it, other than I'd probably immediately vomit because my stomach knows poison, even if my mouth doesn't. Or if my house started to burn down, I better hope that my batteries and my smoke detectors all work, otherwise I'm dead, because I ain't gonna smell it before it's too late. Or, oh, that food went bad. Let me give it a smell test. Smells good to me. I don't smell anything. So, obviously smell and taste, very important. That person's survival. Or even if it's, secondary survival, like, I think I'd be maybe burning my belt in my car or something. I keep smelling burning rubber, or whatever. So we're just gonna heal up real quick. Here's a fun fact. I don't actually make this jump because I fucked that up. So I gotta make another round. But basically what I'm trying to do is make sure I have 100% health before trying to take them on, and then I'm gonna break my burst so that as I travel forward, I screwed that up again. Have full health, and then I hopefully can. I know I will defeat the enemies the next time I fight them, because we're post recording at this point. But another thing I mentioned, probably in one of the last couple episodes, is the fact that because I have the COVID and because I feel fine, because I just got over what I thought was a head cold, I have an excess amount of time until I test negative twice to do what I'm doing. So, like, I test myself in the morning, and if I'm negative, I gotta test myself again in the evening, make sure I'm still negative. I didn't get a false first test. So that means that when I test myself this evening, if I'm negative, then I'll have to test myself again in the morning, make sure that I'm still negative. Again, not a false test. And then I can contact my work to get back to work. But until I get a double negative, I'm sort of at my house on what is essentially a vacation, making these videos. So I am interested to see how far, particularly if I'm off for more than just Monday and Tuesday, I'm interested to see how far I get. Like, when I go back to work, am I 10 episodes ahead? Am I 20 episodes ahead, of my schedule? Am I 2 episodes ahead, because I lost all that time because I wasn't posting videos while I was sick. The 5 or so days I was sick. But I will have to find that out after I start adding videos back to YouTube. I'm gonna use the Crimson Key. I do like about this game is that they made the keys in this game, you know, essentially saying, well, you're gonna go into a more difficult area, but you're not gonna fight a boss. But if you have a crest, you place the crest into the door, you open up the door, you can be pretty certain that you're about to fight a boss. So like I said, most of the things tend to gate you off from getting, you know, knowing exactly what you're about to run into without, you know, saying, hey, you may want to go back and save. That's another thing. They tend to put the save spots in front of the boss doors. So you have a pretty good idea you're about to run into a boss when there's a save spot sitting right outside of it. Which is nice. I like that. Obviously, a nice pro player thing. You don't have to do it. A lot of games don't do it. You know, either because they don't want you to know there's a boss coming up, or they don't want to put you right outside the boss door either. Half the fun is dodging all of the enemies as you do a run by to get to the boss. After you respawn at your bonfire. That's fun. Don't take that away from me. From Software. I would hate to not have to do a run through every time I need to fight a boss. That would be terrible. You guys are jerks. So, the guy in the upper left there, one that's shooting his hands into the ground, is another undead. So if I don't have the bells already equipped, I'm going to be equipping them here in about 30 seconds. Yep, got to equip the bells at this point, so I'll have to kill him again. And to stay dead. Another thing I started to notice as I got, you know, higher in the tower is that enemies like these crabs are really, really highly affected against certain magic types. These are really bad against electricity, whereas, you know, some of the other, like the slime monsters are particularly bad against just physical attacks. They're good against any sort of magic-based attack. So that was pretty damaging. Could have been worse, I suppose, but yeah, we can clear that. I was met with a stupid thought experiment recently that apparently was a thing that I didn't know existed on the internet, but I guess, you know, somehow came back into the forefront of the internet's collective consciousness, if you will. It's the thought experiment about the airplane on the treadmill, and if the airplane and the treadmill are traveling at the same speed and the wheels are still on the ground, can the plane ever take off? And the idea is sort of like, take the airplane, imagine that the airplane itself doesn't move, okay? And the treadmill is just treadmilling the wheels along, okay? So it's spinning. Essentially, the airplane is not moving at all. And because of that, it is producing no wind It would cause no upward momentum. It would lift the plane off the ground, which is the main or the key point in this subject is, you know, obviously if the plane needs air to create lift on the wings, and that's how it gets lifted to the sky. You see, there's more technical terms, I'm sure, for this thing, but for this subject that I'm sort of spouting off the top of my head without doing even an elementary level of educate or reading on to at least use the right vocabulary. But this concept, I guess, the thought is that, well, what if the airplane stayed exactly where it was and it caused no upward momentum, you know, no wind, so the wheels are just spinning and the treadmill's just spinning and the airplane is not moving forward or backward, so it can't create any lift. I wasn't expecting you quite so young. Doing your do your family's name proud. You're the man who spoke with the sorceress at the annex. You're Dallas, aren't you? In the flesh. Dallas. I lead the Darklings in their noble pursuit, but myself a servant of a greater demonic will. But enough about me, can you tell me about yourself? You're trying to get your hands on the demonic essence. Why do you pursue something like that? It doesn't make sense. Goddess told you about that, did she? I'm not surprised you'd question her reasoning. I see in your eyes you're a privileged understanding, but deep down you know exactly why I'm doing this. Of course, that forked tongue of yours, your empty words mean nothing to her. Commander! Unica, reinforcements have arrived. Roy! Sorry to say, we have completely surrounded. Ramona! Well now, it certainly took you long enough. Sad when little girl can outpace trained knights. We receive reports of an enemy sorcerer in the area. I admit, I'm surprised to see their boss here. I'll take you out here and crush your lackey spirit. Prepare yourself. Now, Belaka. He's hiding. You're mine. Huge. Oh no, he had a back force field. Didn't even touch him. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Magic born of the Black Pearl cannot harm those who serve demons. They are, after all, one and the same. Damn, you bastard. Magic may not work. So let's see, battling does, blah blah blah. I think let's let this little puppet show go on long enough. So I'm gonna do that thing I did in East 2 and turn you all to stone. Because that's what I do best in these games, is turn people to stone. What just happened? Oh no! Roy! I've turned you to stone! Oh no! Commander, please! Say something! Now that's a look that suits a little girl. How sweet that you show concern for your fellow soldiers. How dare you? What will be then? Will you seek vengeance? I will never be able to beat him like this. I hit the other night. You're more composed than you suggest. Spare you from my magic. You're to deliver a message to Fina. Tell her I'm staking a claim on your sister's divine power and seizing the Black Pearl for myself. She best not interfere for her sake and for the rest of yours. Just so you know, you'll find even the goddess and six priests have a difficult time removing the curse. I look forward to the show, your vain attempts to save them, or for not. Oh no, everyone's turned to stone. Roy, Commander, this is all my fault. But it's not. It's not your fault at all. So, we need to figure out how to unbuckle them from their stone prison. Typical way to do that is one of a couple ways. One, you kill the sorcerer. Doesn't always work. Two, you cast a dispel. You dispel his spell. Not always simple because you're basically trying to negate or overwhelm the spell with a opposite spell, or conversely, you just use a soft, like they do in Final Fantasies. All but Final Fantasy IV, because boy, that would make too much sense if you could just magically turn the twins back into not stone. That's detestable. The magic gifts of the Black Pearl grant us blah blah blah. Enemies must practice something, I don't know. Unica, you feeling alright? You look unwell. It's up to keep positive given what happened, but just remember, if you ever need to talk to someone, you can talk to me. Heard about the knights. Just goddesses. Okay. I had the foresight to slow down when I was doing these dialogues. So, we're gonna go to the Rado's Axis. We're gonna talk to the goddess, because she is the important key to continuing the plot. Because there's 2 items I need to get. One of them I get from the bottom of the tower, and the other one, what's his face has? Hugo has. So I have to ascertain where Hugo is and where this other item is, which, again, can't do it until I talk to them. Be nice if I could. Unica, thank goodness you're safe. I had the strangest sensation. I could hear you screaming. I was worried something bad happened. Leave, Ina! Something has occurred, hasn't it? Backstory. Petrification, that would certainly account for the sense of unease I have. Their Daedalus turned them to stone without even building up. It was powerful, but, well, this is beyond us. This is a curse. Do you know anything about how to undo it? Well, I'm afraid petrification is not something that comes up very often. Definitely not something I can do to reverse the curse, so they're stuck like that? Too soon to give up hope. There may be hope yet, but in order to accomplish, we need a very special artifact. Kind of artifact. Holy statues, known as the Dreaming Idol, which has been passed down by the caretaker of the Solomon Shrine. If I'm mistaken, the acolyte Dino actually brought it to the surface with him. Really, then I'll go get it. Please wait, Unica. Dreaming Idol is capable of purification on a grand scale, but the purification alone is not enough to break the spell. Petrification is one of the most powerful curses there is. To undo it, we need something equal. The artifacts have that. Even if we focus all our powers, wouldn't be enough. Therein lies the problem. You come with you, might be able to generate the energy needed, but I fear that's not possible. I suppose you do, yes. I'll go check in with Dino and see if he has anything. We're standing around discussing this one. I think Unica may be onto something. We should do what she let her do what she can. Perhaps something will come to me in time as I consider this problem. Alright, good luck, Unica. Alright, so now I gotta go back down to the bottom of the thing. I'm not allowed to do that in this annex, though. I'm allowed to do it anywhere else because this is a cursed annex. More cursed than the rest of the tower for some reason. It's an evil tower. But this is an evil annex of the evil tower. So it's double evil, so I can't use magic. Or magic artifacts. Gonna go talk to Dino. That's a dumb name. What's wrong, Unica? Flame the other night's been turned to stone. Oh dear, that's not good at all. I did bring the Dreaming Idol. Normally I enshrine in the game lane. On occasion I do bring it. Artifact. Can purify just about anything. Add on here. So I just get this super powerful, super ancient relic. Certainly open this chest. It's got any. Use one of the magical items. You open the Rano's Anascus, right? Yeah, the ring designed to curse people with demonism. All our enemies have artifacts with similar power enchantments, demons themselves after all, so how would we expect to get into it? At least gives us hope. Offer more constructive advice though. No, don't worry about it, it's been enough. So we're gonna go find Hugo, because he apparently has some sort of item I need. So we'll be going there.